Come in.
Hi, Jack, Dylan.
Hey,
Nice to
Dylan.
finally meet with you.
Nice to meet you too.
Is it okay if I use the table today?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Alright, here's my card. It's just to keep a line of communication open after our meeting today. Do you have one for me?
I don't have one on me right now, but if this meeting goes good, I'd be happy to give you my email afterwards.
Sounds great. So I spoke to Brock the other day at the Georgia game. Always great to see your son and to be in Athens on a Saturday.
There you go, dogs. Nothing like it.
Of course. I'm guessing that's why you are headquartered here.
Yeah, man. Grew up here. Just couldn't stay away. Had to headquarters something down here.
That's great. So he told me a little bit about PTI and about what's going on in the company. He said y'all are having a little problem with y'all CRM right now. Just a lot of things are getting lost in the shovel, and y'all are seeing growth, but it's slowing down, and he said it could be attributed to that. So I thought I'd stop in today, talk to you a little bit about that, and see what's going on. I know you're a very important man, so time is valuable, and I appreciate you taking the time. So we have 20 minutes today, right?
Yeah, I've got about 20 minutes.
All right, so I'll try to make this as easy for you as possible. You mind if I take any notes today?
I do not.
All righty. All right, just so if you wanted to know where we're going to be headed with this today, we're going to talk a little bit about your company, talk about where you are today, talk about where you're going, and see if Netsuite can help you get there.
Sounds good.
All right, so first things first, what is the short-term and long-term goals for your company?
Well, short term, I think we would love to be able to kind of reorganize the CRM that we have going on right now. We have 2 or 3 providers that we use, but I think being able to clean up the system and use one centralized data point would be really beneficial to being able to aggregate all that data and what we have right now. For short term, just really a reorganization of the processes that we are using to gather data.
Yeah.
Long term, we've been growing a lot, and we want to keep that going. Looking to expand in 6 states over the next 3 years. So really, just being able to take the business and run with what we've got going right now, because we've got a lot of success that we're real proud of.
Brock was letting me know about all that success. You know Brock.
He's a character.
And also, I was trying to know if y'all planned on adding any more employees, because you said y'all were focused on growing, and 6 states is a big thing, and I was just wondering if y'all had any intentions of bringing anyone else on board.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we'd be able to sustain the kind of growth that we're looking to do, especially with the amount of employees that we have now. I think going into a couple different states, if we kept the amount of employees we had and told them to take on all that new business, would just be irresponsible of us. Yeah. So we want to add a good amount of employees and be able to implement them into the system that we have, instead of just putting them in the cluster that we have right now.
And you told me you had 2 to 3 CRM systems right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering how much that costs y'all on a yearly basis.
Yearly basis, probably pay 30 or 40 for each one of them.
Okay.
Separately.
Okay, so we're looking at about $80,000.
Yeah, 60 or 80.
Okay. And I was just wondering, what issues are you having, or what do you enjoy about your CRM actually right now?
Well, I guess what I enjoy about it is the fact that we have our guys and they know what they're doing with it. They've been working with it for so long that they understand all the nuances, and so it doesn't really feel like we need a new system. As far as I'm concerned, things are looking pretty nice. Like to reorganize, but if you ask Brock, I'm sure he'd say that looking over the sales, they all know what they're doing with the system. So just the fact that it's been continuity for a long time, and these guys that I have out in the field know their system, they know it well, and I don't think that change would necessarily be extremely receptive to them.
Well, on the different side of the same coin, what issues have you been having with your CRM?
Well, same in the same vein. It's just the disorganization of it, I think, does make it a little awkward to work around all the data. And so it really puts a strain on upper management, such as myself, to kind of aggregate all that data, put it into one point, and have it readily available for us to use whenever we need it.
Right. And if these problems continue, what effects could you see that having on the business?
Well, if we can't organize, I don't think we're going to be able to continue to grow like we would like to. Being able to take on new business and have it seamlessly come into what we're doing is much more beneficial than trying to convince a higher end company that what we're doing is just adequate. We want to be able to keep pace with our clients.
And you said a lot of what's going on is clutter. Do you find that it's disorganized, right?
Yes.
Okay, and with that, do you feel like a lot of your client data, salesperson data, is also cluttered in that way?
Mm-hmm. Especially, it's kind of the same thing going on. We have a couple different systems to use, the clients and the sales. Especially on the clients, there's no convenient way for them to look at what we have and see what salesperson has talked to what client. And so I think sometimes we'll step on some toes because the client or our salesperson will go to the client and then pitch them on something, and then we'll have a different salesperson go in and pitch them on the exact same thing. And obviously, that's not something we want to do. And I think just the state of the disorganization that we have going on with our tracking systems is what's causing that.
And what would it mean to you to be able to centralize that?
Well, I think it would mean more business.
Yeah. And did you say you found that you were losing any business due to this clutter?
We lose probably three, 4 clients a year just due to clutter at this point. I would anticipate it being more if
you expand.
If we continue doing business like we're doing.
And how much would you say each one of these are costing you to lose?
Well, it can be a range. I would see some of the lower end ones looking at about $30,000.
Okay.
Not too much, but we could have a higher end company that's costing as much as $20,000 worth of sales.
Okay, exactly. Alrighty, and I was just
200,000.
200, yeah. Low end 30, high end 20, exactly. And I was just wondering what type of tracking systems y'all are using with your clients to know exactly what's going on at all times.
Well, as far as reporting is going, we'll have different salespeople come in, and some of them will give older information. We'll have other people give newer information, and so really we just don't have an accurate picture of what's going on day to day or even weekly sometimes. I think the tracking systems that we are using are much more of you turn in your reports when you have a chance, and that's just not working.
And you can see that getting worse as you expand.
Especially going into different states, especially.
And Brock told me you're hands-on type president, and he's saying you like to look at the company on a daily basis and how that can take time away. I just wanted to know how much time you're looking at the business, or how long it takes you to figure out the standing of the business every day.
Well, every day I'll try and work around it a little bit, but I think it's more of a weekly thing where it's adding up, and I think you could put about 6 or even 8 hours on top of every week where I'm just trying to find out how to put all this information together.
Right, and I know that you're a man that very much values his time, so it's not good to be able to waste your time on something.
No.
And how much does that affect your productivity as a president?
Well, it's making me have to delegate, it makes me take on activities that I'd rather delegate so I can look at the higher level activities of the company where we're trying to expand the different states, we're trying to maintain growth, but instead I'm getting bogged down by these reports, as well as some of my sales managers where they want to be able to have all that information come to them and they can look at it and just immediately know what's going on, but we have to all put it together. And it's just counterproductive.
That leads into my next question. I was going to see exactly how it is that you look at your sales reports and get those to the different sales managers.
At this point, it's really manual. We have the systems, and they report some small time financial data, but it's nothing comprehensive.
Okay. Alrighty. And what areas are you looking to improve in, other than just disorganization?
I really think just having a system that would be able to have all the comprehensive data on it would. I know you said not organization, but I think the organization is what's going to help out with everything else. So really just fixing that problem is what's going to put us on track to get all of the data together.
Yeah. And how could your resources be better used, the ones that you're now having to waste by looking up how much things are going on with your old CRM system?
Well, it's just resources that I think would be better used elsewhere. I want to have my salespeople do the sales, and I want my managers to be able to look at the information. So I want it to be streamlined where we can all have the information we need to see and then just run with it.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, we can take a look at Netsuite right now, and we can see if we can solve some of these problems for you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at today is your clients. You told me that a lot of times the information on your customers isn't together, and you really wanted it centralized. So if you go onto your sales part of your Netsuite account, and as you can see, there's a lot going on right here as a front. Don't be worried about that. We have a very comprehensive training program, and we're going to let you know all about it. It's actually very customizable. You have a lot of things going on in your dashboard. But as the more you use the product and the software, you'll be able to see what's going on in each one. So for now, we're going to look at your customers. and we're going to click on REI, and it's going to bring us up with all types of information on REI. It's going to be able to see who you contact within the organization, their information, as well as anyone who has ever contacted that person. So we can go to our communications tab, and we're going to be able to see who within your organization it was that was going to talk to these companies and how they were responded to. And this really helps get rid of that where you said people were stepping on each other's toes. That's not going to happen anymore, because you can see exactly who was contacted, when they were contacted, and how often it was. And another big thing for you said, was looking at your sales and tracking your sales. This actually comes with a sales tab that lets you know exactly where the products are, what's going in and what's coming out. It'll let you know if something's being purchased, if you're negotiating, the orders coming out, everything. So you're always going to know what's happening with these sales.
Okay.
So based on this, do you have any first impressions of NetSuite?
I like how it has all of this information put together in one place, but is this something where if I wanted multiple of my salespeople to look at it, do they have access to the same information?
Yes.
All looking at the same thing.
So with our access, each person is going to have access to the sales page. So they're going to be able to see what they've done. They're going to be able to see what other people have done to really make sure nobody's stepping on anyone's toes, and they'll be able to see what is going on within the company. And so another big thing with you was to be able to see all of your daily finances, and that's a big thing for a lot of managers in your position. So if you go to our management tab, which you will be spending a lot of your time on, you'll actually be able to see your weekly trends within the business and this executive financials, which really shows you your day-to-day, week-to-week of the business. We're going to be able to look at your total amount of sales, your cost of goods, your net profit percentage, everything you would need to know to see how you're doing. Do you have any questions about anything so far?
Well, it looks like there's a lot more if you were to really just drill into it, looking at this tab up here where they have all of these things. I don't know how much of that I'll be using. Is it a little more complicated than you might be letting on?
No, well, the thing with our system is it's actually very, very, it gets going as soon as you start your training. I actually have some testimonials from previous clients if you would like to look at.
Yes.
Just letting you know about the ease of the NetSuite program and seeing how they were able to utilize it very quickly within their companies.
Okay, this looks good. This eased my mind a little bit.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I would say is being able to communicate to your managers your reports. So we can see some sales reports for you right here. We can show you how your forecast and quota reports are looking. So it'll show you exactly where you plan on being right here and where you're headed towards, and just so you can see where you need to make adjustments, where you need to keep doing the same. Does that ease any of the barriers you had about this?
I think it all looks pretty good.
All right, I'm glad you said that. I actually wanted just to go over everything we've been going through today, if you don't mind. And I was going to just been taking some notes over here I'd love for you to take a look at. As you can see right here, I've shown you the $80,000 you're using, the $90,000 you're losing in business, and your 6 to 8 hours a week that you're losing. And I have this all on one side to show you that $44,000 that we're offering you today that solves all of these sides of problems. Is that something that looks interesting?
Well, I can't deny that the numbers look appealing.
All right, and is this something? Do you see NetSuite as something that fits within your company?
Well, I feel like I should do my due diligence and talk to some other companies that I've been having conversation with. But I do like what I've been showed today. I just don't know if I want to make a commitment.
Well, we do have a contract here, and it does come with a free trial, so you're going to get that for a month. I'm going to come in, personally help the implementation, train everyone, and stay on there to make sure everything goes over smoothly. So if you don't mind, we could definitely take a look at that today. Is that something you might be interested in?
If it's free, I don't want to spend any money right now.
Yeah, not binding. It's just letting you know that I'm going to come there, show you all the benefits that you could get.
All right. Well, I suppose if it's free and it can't hurt to look at it, then set that up.
All right. And how's about next week meeting at 3 o'clock sound to really be able to settle in what we're going to be doing and time frames?
I don't know about next week. Can I just give you a call back and then we might be able to work something out 2 or 3 weeks out?
I'm going to be in the area, and this is something that I really think that we need to be in-house talking about. If that's something, just so I can get a lay of the land for the implementation, if that sounds good with you.
All right. So when did you say next week at
4 o'clock on Thursday? Whenever is good with you.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, thank you so much, Jack. It was great
All right,
seeing
thank
you.
you. Good seeing you too.
Bye. Bye, Gunnar.